Sweet. You all ready to talk about AI some more?
Yeah.
So today I'm going to be talking about AI, which is the mother of all human innovation, a technology that will fundamentally change our world. Or at least that's the narrative from the tech sector. But I'm yet to see AI fundamentally change how the SEO industry works. And so I'm curious, is AI living up to expectations in the SEO industry? And I think today we've heard a lot of kind of mixed views on this. I think some people are completely blown away by it, and other people are still kind of feeling let down. And I want to address that today, because I really do believe that AI will touch every single part of SEO in a really big way and fundamentally change how SEO teams work over the next few years. Before I get into that though, I want to give you some insight into why I care. Why I care about AI, and why I care about it enabling SEO teams in particular. So around 4 years ago now, I was in the middle of my university degree, and I was giving a lot of thought to what it was I want to do with my life. What do I want to build a career around? What would be exciting? And what could I be passionate about? And I had two criteria for figuring that out. Sean, you ruined one of my slides. But I had two things for figuring this out. I knew that I wanted to do something entrepreneurial and to do something which had a really positive impact. And so I started thinking about the world's problems and the solutions to those problems. And one solution which came up time and time again was AI and technology. And so I started learning about AI, and I started to get really excited about it. This was truly world-altering technology, and it was something that I could be a part of at the very early stages. And so I went away and I started learning how to code. I learned to build simple AI models, I learned to work with APIs, how to design, how to work with databases, and I just became obsessed with building things. So then 2 years later, when I finished university, I started freelancing, helping people build web-based software, to build websites, and on the side, I was building AI side projects. And I was sending them to anyone that I thought could find them useful. And that's how I eventually became connected with this SEO team that was as excited as me about using AI. This was a team that was envisioning a future where AI was a valuable form of intelligence within their team. And this genuinely changed my life because of the results that I saw them achieve from this way of thinking. 12 months have now passed since I implemented AI and automation for this team. And during that time, they have continued to gain and maintain #1 rankings. Okay, this agency, they're a market leader in their niche. So it's vital that they continue to get those #1 rankings, because without those, they lose their reputation. And we've continued to do that. We didn't sacrifice quality, we couldn't. They continued to save time in that process. The SEO lead has got a lot of his week back. He spends a lot less time managing people and managing their tasks, and has a lot more AI and automation doing the work. And through all of this, they've saved over $100,000 in the past 12 months, which is incredible for a team of this size. And so off the back of that, I realized I was well placed to help other SEO teams do something similar. So I started AutoSem. We work with SEO teams to train and consult to help them understand AI, where it's effective and where it's not so effective. And then we provide software and development services to implement those AI and automation solutions. And so that's why I care so much about this question. That's why I care that AI lives up to expectations in the SEO industry. Because this is some of the most powerful technology we've ever had access to, and the onus is really on us to ensure that we leverage it with maximum effect. This is a graph that the consultancy firm Gartner used to explain attitudes to new technologies as they emerge. At the beginning, you have this peak of inflated expectations. The new technology emerges, we all get really excited about it, but the technology is still finding its feet. And so we feel let down, it doesn't meet our high expectations. And so we dramatically adjust our expectations, and we end up in what is called the trough of disillusionment. And that's where I feel that we are in SEO right now. We feel like AI has let us down. It's never going to be able to help us in the way that we were promised. But I believe that we would expect a lot more from this technology if we could see the path ahead. 11%. That is the percentage of tasks in the UK currently exposed to AI according to the Institute for Public Policy Research. Now they predict that this figure will jump to 59% with integrated AI. That's AI that can work with our databases, tools, and systems. And that's really, really close. So that's a jump from 11%, where we are kind of right now, to 59%, where we're going to be very, very soon. That is a huge shift. That's over half of tasks across the UK workforce exposed to AI. And so it's a reminder that AI is the mother of all human innovation. There is no technological revolution which has happened in recent times which is going to have as much of an impact as AI. And it's a reminder that in many cases you are either riding the AI wave or you will be dumped by it. We're only using AI to a fraction of its potential right now. There is so much more that we can do. I think people try a few prompts and it kind of half does the job for them, but we need to bring more data into it. We need to have more expansive prompting. And I'm going to go over a few steps to how you can improve those processes later on. Ooh, I'm not going to remember them. Okay, so the current approaches to AI are very narrow. Okay, they tend to focus on particular elements of the process. So they'll focus on content writing, for example, or they'll focus on analytics. They'll focus on one part, particularly content writing. That's something that I've seen a lot, but we all know that's a very, very small part of the overall SEO process. They're also lacking context. They don't understand our businesses. They don't understand the products and services that we sell. They don't understand the team behind the business and the unique beliefs and insights which exist within our business. And they are opaque. Often you can't see where the data is being pulled from. You can't see the decisions that are being made with that data. And they're rigid. You can't really change how they work. If you don't like where the data is coming from or you don't like how it's being used, there's very little you can do to change that. And all of that contributes to the quality of being of quite a low output. The output being of quite a low quality. I believe the future of AI and SEO will be broad. We'll apply AI across the whole process. From start to finish, end to end, we'll use AI in some way. It'll be highly contextual. It'll understand your business, the products you sell, the people in your team, your unique beliefs and insights. And it'll be transparent. We'll be able to see what's going on in the background. We'll be able to see what data is being pulled in and what's being done with that data. And it'll be flexible. If you don't like how those things work, you can just change them. And so I believe we can do that right now. I believe the technology is there. We just haven't found a way to implement it effectively yet. We need new approaches. We need to be driving innovation. We can't just rely on ChatGPT to create the best possible experience for SEO. We need to drive forward and do that ourselves for our industry and also for our individual businesses. And so I believe we can do that with AI assistants. AI assistants enable us to improve the capabilities and performance of AI using multi-step prompting and custom tools. So I'll break that down. Multi-step prompting is, instead of asking ChatGPT, please can you write a 1,000-word blog post on this topic, and moving on with whatever you get back. Instead, you break that down into a number of subtasks. Okay, and the more granular you go here, the better output you're going to get. But at a very high level, you could be asking it first to do some research around the topic, then to create an outline, then you could provide it some research from your team, and then you could ask it to revise that, maybe give it some internal links and revise it again. But you can get really, really granular with this, and that's going to have a really, really massive impact. And then custom tools. Custom tools are what enable AI to integrate with our databases, tools, and systems. This is what will prevent us having to manually drag information around between platforms. This is really what's going to save us a huge amount of time. And this is really where we should be plowing our energy into, because this is where the results are really, really going to come. So how can you build an AI assistant? First of all, you need to sit down with your team and really understand what your existing process is. Okay, you can take a small process, but you need to sit down and really understand what steps are taken, by who, what do they do, what are the variables, what are the inputs, what data sources do we use. And then you need to understand where can AI do some of these things. Even if it can't do all of them, just understanding where it can be useful gives you a good start. Then you take that workflow that you've laid out with your team, and if you can code, you can write in whatever language you want, or if you'd like to use a no-code tool, you can use something like Zapier. And once you've got that kind of process laid out with the logic, then you can start to add in your AI. So you can bring in AI models for vision, writing, reasoning, you name it. Whatever tools are available to you, you should use them. And you can also bring in your custom tools, so your external APIs, your connections to your databases, CMSs, whatever it is, wherever you need that data or external data from, you just connect it up. And so I thought I'd give you some examples of what this might look like in practice. And whilst I was creating this presentation, I was in the market for these very nice loafers. If you can't see them back there, I promise you they're very nice. And in the process of buying those, I googled best men's loafers, and so that is the inspiration for this segment. Imagine you are a writer at GQ, and you want to do some research to find out what should we be recommending for best men's loafers. And one idea I had was, what if we had AI call up all of our consultant stylists and ask them, what's hot this season? What brands do you recommend? What trends are, what styles are on trend? And so AI could do that, call those people up and have those conversations, and you'd get back the full transcript. And then you could use that. You could send that to an LLM and get a summary back of what they said, and that can be used further down in your process. You may also want to know what our competitors are looking at, what they're recommending. And so we can use a search API there to return the content of those pages. We can use an LLM to extract data from those. LLMs are really good at doing that summarization and extraction of information. And we can use that summary further down in our process again. Then if it's an affiliate site, assume we rely on affiliate revenue. We might have a database of all the products that we can potentially get an affiliate link for. And so we can take our research and get it to search on our custom API for our database what products are relevant to our research. Okay, that's really quick. That's so much quicker than a person going in. And when all the results come back, we can use AI to evaluate those results, to give them a score, to say, this is a highly relevant result because it came up in this piece of research and this stylist recommended it. So we can piece all those things together and it starts to become really, really powerful. And finally, we can use AI's image capabilities. Say we want an image of a loafer with a white background, the whole shoe in view, and we want that to be the primary image. AI can easily make that decision for us. It's a tiny little time saving, but when you apply it at scale, it's super, super powerful. And finally, you don't need to sacrifice quality. I think that's a huge misconception with AI at the moment, is if we use AI, we're going to lose all of our authenticity and we're going to sound like everyone else. But you can put a human in the loop, you can feed in data. If you need something checked, then you can make that a step in that process. And if a human is tweaking it versus doing the whole thing from scratch, you're going to save a huge amount of time. And I really believe that AI is so powerful now that the question is not how can AI help us, but instead how can we help AI. There is so many manual processes in business where we need to be letting AI do that work. We give it a hand where it requires it, and then we free up all of our time to go and to work on something far more important. Another thing I would say is don't let your assistants work alone. All of the value comes when you can put them together. Put them together in a string of processes that feed into each other. And then you do it in parallel too. So say you run that process for best men's loafers, men's sandals, men's sneakers, men's boots, you get the picture. That's where it gets really, really powerful. And that's what I did for this SEO team 12 months ago. I understood a large chunk of their process. We automated it at scale with AI input and human input. And that's how we continue to maintain quality, get incredible SEO results, and also save an incredible amount of time and money. So how can you assemble an AI team? There's three parts to this. You need solid technical foundations. You need to find a really high ROI piece to get started with. And then you need to research, test, and iterate. And I'm going to go through them one by one. So these solid technical foundations, at the very core, you need a data store. So that's a lot of what you've been talking about today, is you need all of that content in one place. Okay? You need one source of truth that everything can connect into. Then you have your assistants, which we talked about, and then you also need your automation pipelines. This is what allows you to string things together and give particular triggers to each process. Then you need to get started, you need to find something which is really high ROI. It's quite hard to get going with AI at the beginning. Okay? It's quite a change in mindset and how you're approaching technology. You're letting it do a lot more work than you were previously. So it needs to be something which will really pay when you do it right. So find that high ROI piece to get started, and then you can start to build around that. And you need to be on top of what's changing in AI. There's new models available all the time. There's new ways of working. There's been huge innovation in the last 6 months, not in models per se. We've still just got we've still got GPT-4, but the ways we're working with it, with agents and other kind of workflows, that's where the real benefits are coming through. So you need to be on top of all this, and you need to be testing it against what you've already got in place. And I really believe you can do this end to end right now. You obviously still need humans, but if you had AI carrying through a lot of your processes, it would make your team so much more efficient. And I think the teams that do this are really, really going to get ahead. And finally, I believe that SEO teams should no longer be bottlenecked by headcount. I think the question is, how can your team of 4 create output like a team of 10? I think the agencies and the teams that can really start to think in that way are really, really going to get ahead in these next few years. And I'll leave you with one final question. Are you riding the AI wave or being dumped by it? Thank you.